often ask, how do I do this? How do I educate my child at home? We're going to talk about what steps are good practices to help your child learn at home. I think one of the most important things is to establish a comfortable place to learn. Some people take a room and set up a classroom, and if you have the space and it works for your family, that's fine. But most of us use the kitchen table. Sometimes we'll do the couch for our books and our reading and things like that, but when we really are getting down to work, nothing beats all of us sitting around the kitchen table and working together. Another important thing is to establish a routine. Decide what time works best. For my family, we would get up, have breakfast, clean the kitchen, and then we would sit down to work. We usually work from about 10 to 12. And when we did that, we would work for a little while, take a little bit of a break, and then get back to work. Some people like to work a bit in the morning and a bit in the afternoon, get a lot of it done on one day. Other people like to take a little bit every day. Whatever works for you in establishing a good routine is a really good way to do it. We would have pencils and a pencil sharpener and erasers and paper and put them in like a shoebox. And that was easy. We could just pull that off, pull our books off of a shelf. We had one shelf that put all of our books on. And that way we're not searching the house for crayons when we need it or markers when we need it. Sometimes even like a crate works well for that. That way you can take it from the kitchen to the living room and do your work wherever you are. It's important to know what you want your child to learn and what is required. Sometimes you'll say, here, do this worksheet, but your child doesn't really know what to do. So take a few minutes and explain it to them. Use a teacher guide. Give some examples. Let them do some work with you looking over their shoulder. That way you can check, do they understand what we're doing? Be very careful not to give them the answers too quickly. Sometimes you've got to give them some time to process and to think about it. I had one friend tell me that she always would tell her child, I'm going to have you teach this to me when we're done, so please pay attention. That way, whenever you have them explain it back to you, you can see, did they really understand it? Another thing is that you get them started working and then let them work independently. You know, as moms, we want our children to succeed and we want them to do well, but you have to remember, you already did this grade. They need to do this grade. It doesn't help if you do their work. So if they're doing their math problem, show them how to do a few, maybe even on a whiteboard. Do some problems together. And then let them do some problems while you watch, but don't give them the answer. Then step away for a little while and tell them, you do these few problems and I'll be right here and I'll come back and check on you. Once they finish their, maybe it's a math page, maybe it's a grammar sheet, then check it to see did they get it right. If they got it right, then that's great, move on. If they didn't get it right, say, you know what, honey, how about if you look at that again? What didn't work in this problem? And let them redo that problem. If they come across a page where they just miss them all, then that shows they didn't understand the lesson. Go back and reteach the lesson. So you want to work with them till they can work independently. You want to let them do their work. You want to check their work to make sure it's done correct and review their learning. And then another thing that's really important is help them be organized. Once they've done the work, what do they do with it? Do you have a folder you put it in? Do you put it in their backpack to take it back to class? Do you check it off on their assignment sheet? Whatever system you have set up for organization, follow that through. Set up that routine with the time, the work, the place, the system for organization. And another thing that's very important is then go have fun. Go have some fun learning, and don't make learning all about the books, but make learning fun.